He had never watched Disney movies before, but Todoroki was beginning to get into the marathon that you both agreed to partake in on your movie date. The common room was empty sans for the two of you. Todoroki thought it best to wait until everyone had returned to their dorms, only to sneak out to enjoy time together alone. You never thought that Todoroki would make these arrangements outside of curfew hours, but in any case you organized the food and drinks, simply just popcorn, tea, and other sweets. Todoroki felt the weight of your head against his shoulders the longer the night went, as the two of you reached the third movie in a row. The bowl of popcorn had been refilled at least twice, while the tea had been left forgotten after its third kettle. Todoroki held on to the bowl of popcorn in his lap, slowly getting through it while he was fixated on the movie at hand. A musical number played before he shook the bowl, realizing that it was beginning to get low again. "Would you like me to go grab some?" he started before he noticed that you had fallen asleep against him with a small peaceful smile. He smiled at your sleeping form, unbothered by the position your head slumped or the way your body leaned into his. The movie now forgotten, Todoroki slowly put aside the bowl of popcorn, careful to not wake you, and placed your head on his lap, all the while making sure you were comfortable, at least while you were sleeping. You did not stir, but your head comfortably laid across the top of his legs. Todoroki admired you while he began running his hand through your hair, almost playfully with the light of the television illuminating your features. "I still can't believe you said yes," he softly spoke. "I've never felt so happy." His hand laid upon your cheek, caressing it with his thumb before he felt your hand crawl up to it and clutch it in yours. A smile crossed his lips as he lowered his head to gently lay a kiss on top of your own. His breath caressed your skin, causing you to stir momentarily before you nuzzled back into his lap. "Thank you," he whispered before he switched the television off. Todoroki carefully took you in his arms and carried you to your room, where he laid you down into your bed, tucking you in for the night. He gave you another kiss on your forehead before he made his way towards your door, switching the lights off and leaving, knowing he will see you in the morning bright and early. The general department dorms wasn't the biggest of all the classes, but it had everything the students needed. You and Shinso, after careful planning, decided to have a movie date in the common room of his dorm. Despite Shinso's want to enter into the hero course, he felt a little uncomfortable to hang around 1A's common room for your date, but also apologized if the 1C dorms wasn't as grand as he thought. You didn't mind the thought, just as long as the two of you were spending time with each other. Shinso admitted he wasn't one for movies, but agreed to try it out for the first time with you. After managing the popcorn and some late-night coffee making, you both made yourselves comfortable on the couch. The two of you agreed on something compelling to watch, and after a while into it, Shinso realized how much he was starting to like Good Will Hunting. It wasn't long into the movie that he felt the heaviness of your head on his shoulders and your body against his. Knowing exactly what he would see, he turned to get a better look at you. Your cheek rested against his shoulders, yet you still somehow managed to look cute. It made him smile. "You really are an idiot," he murmured. "But I guess that's why I like you so much." He felt his face grow hot as the thought crossed his mind. "I figured you'd fall asleep. No one would agree to this knowing that practicals were scheduled yesterday," he continued while the television still played in the background. "Well, I'm not complaining though. It's more than worth it." He slouched his body into the couch, low enough for your head to lean in comfortably onto his shoulders. Shinso wasn't a stranger to a little insomnia, but after a while into the movie he decided it best to call it a night, leaving half-empty coffee mugs and popcorn in the common room and taking you to his. A part of him was glad that you were exhausted. His room was in shambles and wasn't exactly the tidiest it could be, but he laid you down in his bed, making room for you and tucking you in his sheets. A low purr reverberated next to him before a black cat jumped onto the bed, curious of your presence.
"Don't worry,"
whispered Shinso as he gingerly scratched the cat's chin.
"You'll get to say hi tomorrow."
He smiled as he made his way to his desk, continuing on a few notations he had left on pause. He turned every now and then to see you stir in his bed and watch his cat curl next to you on his sheets. A smirk crossed his lips. He'll need to sleep soon as well, but again, he was no stranger to insomnia, and the desk will do for the night. At first you thought Monoma was just being his teasing self when he asked you out for a small rendezvous, but after a few more flirtatious gestures, your interest was piqued. However, his disposition for 1A prevented you from suggesting a date back at your dorm, of which he happily obliged 1B's dorm for your get-together. You both agreed on a movie date, deciding on the movie to watch, the snacks to eat, and the schedule, mostly dictated by Monoma, who prided himself in making it a wonderful night in. Monoma offered his dorm room at first with a television of his own, seeing that you would both have privacy there, rather than be interrupted by anyone from 1B walking in and out of the common room. After a few interjections and discussion, you agreed despite it feeling like you caved in to the decision. Walking into his room, you found it already prepared with popcorn, snacks, and drinks. The television already played the menu screen of the movie ready to go. Eventually, both Monoma and yourself sat on the little couch he had by the foot of his bed and began the night. You both opted for something funny and light to watch. The Princess Bride was Monoma's choice, and it was fun for a while. A few snickers were heard here and there from both yourself and him. It became a comfortable night after all. As it progressed, Monoma felt sleep wash over him before he felt something lay across his lap. Woken from the feeling, he looked down at you, already asleep.
"How is one possible to sleep so deeply?"
he questioned, watching you stir and mumble as if you tried to reply. Monoma chuckled under his breath.
"You really are something else. I should carry you to bed or else you'll end up dislocating your neck."
He snickered as he picked you up and laid you softly on his bed. He brushed a few strands of hair away from your face, studying your sleeping form.
"You owe me another night."
He gently pulled the sheets across you while his television still played the movie behind him. He lowered its volume, but allowed it to continue playing, illuminating his room. You were still in a deep sleep, so much that he took the opportunity to kiss you gently on your temple.
"A little kiss is enough to make me happy, and of course, cuddling can't be missed out."
He carefully crawled into his bed, making sure not to stir you from your sleep as he laid an arm around your waist. The both of you molded into each other. Monoma made sure of it, before he finally caved into slumber himself, his lips pressed against your shoulder as he did so.